In a stunning, history-defying twist that no one saw coming, BTS's Jin has officially risen to the #1 spot at the 2025 Mama Awards, a moment so monumental that the entire entertainment industry seems to have paused in disbelief. How did this happen? How did one man, fresh from military service and returning to a world still adjusting to his presence, climb to the absolute top, surpassing icons like G-Dragon, Baekhyun, Mark, and J-Hope? The answer isn't simple, and that's precisely what makes this moment so electrifying. The news broke like lightning across social media. Within minutes, Jin's name dominated every trending chart: Twitter, Weverse, YouTube, and Naver, as fans across continents shouted one collective truth: he did it. The image of Jin holding the Golden Mama trophy quickly became a symbol of triumph, not just for him, but for an entire generation of fans who have waited years to see this moment unfold. His expression, calm, humble, yet brimming with quiet emotion, told a story far louder than any acceptance speech could. This wasn't just another award. This was a statement. Jin, often dubbed the worldwide handsome and praised for his grace and composure, had just defeated some of the biggest names in the industry, including G-Dragon, a legend whose influence stretches over decades. And yet, here he stood, not as part of BTS, not under the collective spotlight, but as Jin, the solo artist who fought against all odds and shattered expectations. But how did Jin secure this victory? What led millions to vote, stream, and rally with such unwavering dedication? To understand that, we must go back to the moment when Jin was nominated for Artist of the Year. It was already a shock when the announcement was made. Many believed his nomination was symbolic, a gesture of respect for his solo efforts after military service. Few truly imagined that he could climb to the very top. Yet, against every prediction, Jin began dominating the votes, the streams, and the charts. Each digital record, each fan post, each surge in streaming platforms told the same story. Jin wasn't merely participating, he was rewriting the narrative of what a solo idol could achieve. Analysts started to notice patterns. His songs, particularly those from his post-military comeback album, weren't just charting, they were resonating. The lyrics, laced with sincerity and maturity, carried the weight of his journey. Every performance felt like a statement, every smile like a declaration that he was back, not just as an idol, but as a voice that refused to fade. Industry insiders began whispering, "Is this the year Jin takes it all?" At first, it sounded impossible. The competition was fierce. G-Dragon, long celebrated as the king of K-pop innovation, had returned with a massive project backed by a global campaign. Baekhyun, adored for his powerhouse vocals, was dominating digital charts. Mark and J-Hope brought in massive fandoms of their own. But something about Jin's rise felt unstoppable, organic, emotional, and deeply personal. When the official numbers from Circle Chart confirmed his lead, disbelief turned into celebration. Jin's digital points were astronomical, surpassing even the projections made by analysts. The data spoke clearly. This was not luck, it was loyalty. It was army power in motion, organized, focused, and emotional. Yet, beneath all the numbers, there was something else, a story of resilience. Jin's comeback wasn't just about music. It was about endurance, humility, and connection. Across the world, fans shared their reactions in tears. In Seoul, massive LED screens flashed Jin's image with the caption, #OneArtistOfTheYear. In Los Angeles, fans gathered at K-pop cafes, cheering as if witnessing a World Cup victory. In Brazil, Mexico, and Indonesia, local fan bases held simultaneous live streams, chanting his name with pride. He never gave up, one fan wrote. He waited, worked, and trusted us. And now, we've given him back what he deserves. The moment Jin walked onto the Mama stage, holding the award that now bore his name, the atmosphere changed. The lights dimmed, the crowd hushed, and every camera lens locked on him. Dressed in classic black, elegant yet simple, Jin looked every bit the global star, but his eyes revealed a flicker of disbelief. He smiled softly, almost in awe, before bowing deeply to the fans. "Thank you," he said, his voice trembling. This means everything." And then came the part that made millions cry. Instead of celebrating himself, Jin dedicated his victory to ARMY. "You waited for me," he said, voice breaking slightly. "You believed in me when I couldn't be there. This award belongs to you." Those words, humble yet piercing, rippled across the world like an emotional wave. Clips of the moment flooded TikTok and X within minutes. Fans who had followed him since debut wept openly, realizing how far he had come, from a shy trainee to the man standing alone as the #1 artist in Asia. What made this moment even more powerful was the symbolism behind it. Jin's rise to the top wasn't just a personal achievement, it was a shift in the K-pop landscape. For years, solo artists struggled to reach the same recognition as groups. But Jin changed that narrative overnight. He proved that passion, honesty, and artistry could transcend boundaries. Even G-Dragon's fans, known for their fierce loyalty, couldn't help but express respect. "He earned it," one user wrote. Jin's music touches people in ways few others can. Experts have begun calling Jin's win a cultural turning point. Music journalists highlight how his artistry has matured, blending emotional storytelling with technical mastery. His vocal control, his restraint, and his authenticity have drawn comparisons to legendary vocalists across genres. Jin represents the evolution of K-pop, one critic wrote. "He is not just an idol. He is a testament to what dedication and emotional intelligence can achieve." Behind the numbers lies a truth that few can ignore. Jin's success is powered by sincerity. He doesn't chase trends, he shapes them. He doesn't shout for attention, he earns it through substance. And that's precisely why this victory feels so deeply deserved. His fans didn't vote just to win, they voted to prove something. They wanted to show that the world still values artists who lead with heart. Now, the question lingers, what's next for Jin? Can he sustain this momentum, or will this moment remain a shining peak in his career? Judging from his calm confidence, it's clear he's not done. Rumors are already swirling about his next project, one that insiders say could redefine his artistic direction entirely. Whether it's a global tour, a cinematic album, or another collaboration with international artists, one thing is certain: the world is watching. The 2025 Mama Awards will be remembered as the night Jin rewrote history. A night when the world stopped doubting and started believing. A night when the artist once called underrated became the standard by which all others will be measured. As the final applause echoed across the arena, one couldn't help but wonder, was this destiny? Or was it simply the result of a man who never stopped giving everything he had? Because when Jin stood there under the golden light, holding the Mama trophy with a trembling smile, the world saw something more than victory. It saw proof that passion endures, that sincerity triumphs, and that sometimes the quietest strength makes the loudest noise. And perhaps that's why his story resonates so deeply. Jin didn't just win. He reminded the world what it means to believe in art, in love, and in the people who never stop cheering.